Hey, movie nerds, how's it going today? It is late here in California. I'm actually going solo today, and I'm actually coming to you from my from my bedroom. We couldn't get to our normal studio, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. Now, this is Disney. I believe it's their third rendition or edition of rides making it into movies. First, it was Pirates, which was really good. The first one was really good. The second and third one just kind of went overboard, and fourth and fifth just all over the place. But the first one was really, really good. And then the other one was Tomorrowland, which was very disappointing to a lot of people, a lot of the audience. They didn't really like that movie. I thought it was okay. I enjoyed the acting with George Clooney in it. And I don't remember the girl's name. You know what I mean? I'm not good with names. And so now this is their third one, I believe. Now you can correct me on that, but their third one attempting at a movie that revolves around a ride from Disneyland. Many of you have known Jungle Cruise is probably one of the first rides that was there on the opening day of Disneyland. In fact, Dwayne The Rock has says that Walt Disney was the very first skipper to ever what's it called to ever rode on the Jungle Cruise, was the very first skipper. So I think I said that right. Anyways, this movie, going into it, I was excited. I did have hesitation because of Tomorrowland wasn't that good, and Pirates was so good. I love Pirates of Caribbean, the first one. The second, third one, like I said, it wasn't that good. But I was surprisingly glad that this movie was made because it was fun. It was exciting. It was what you call it. It had the elements of the Mummy. You have, the tough guy like Brandon Fraser. You have The Rock as the skipper of the boat. You have Emily Blunt, who is, the genius, the girl, and the has that goofy comedy in her character, like the oops and but throughout all that oops and oops, she was able to get away from certain situation, or was able to defeat certain, bad guy or whoever was after her. And so it's like a little bit of goofball comedy that goes into it. And also you get the brother. I don't know the actor's name, but I thought he was really, really funny. But it had that element. It had you had the Avengers. I can't say it. You're going on an adventure, and you go and trying to find a certain, treasure, or in this case trying to find a tree. And then along the way you get all this epic stuff that happens, this the journey to get there, and you get the character development between Emily Blunt and The Rock. Now, Emily Blunt is top world class actor. I'm gonna call her actor because she's an actor. The Rock is actually surprisingly getting better. I was talking to my wife, like, I'm very impressed with his acting. Jumanji was great. And his acting got even better in Jungle Cruise. He was funny. um Now, whether you there are pushback, whether you believe or not, if he was miscast, because The Rock is kind of a very big figure. He's huge, he's buff, and it's hard to believe, sometimes it's hard to believe to, like, the character that he's playing, because he's just not an ordinary guy. In fact, if you go back to all the Rock's movie, all of his characters all have like backgrounds that has to do with military background, or like special force, or some type of, like, those, that fits his body type of role. Like, in Rampage he was like an ex-marine, I believe. And so in um that one movie, the scrap that he was jumping off buildings, I'm not sure what it was, but he was some type of ex-army, or like, some type of military background. So in this one they didn't really give him a background. He was part of an exploration team that went into the Amazon to find this tree to give eternal life, or to heal. I don't know about eternal life, or maybe it does. And so whether you believe it, I didn't care. I thought his character was fine. I thought he and Emily Blunt had great chemistry. I still there are parts of him when he acts. I do think that is the emotional part is kind of, you can tell he needs to work on it. Now I'm not a, a world class actor. I don't know a first thing about acting. I'm just basing off of my opinion watching him, and so but he was still good. The jokes, you're gonna get all the jokes. You're gonna the beginning of the movie, you're gonna get the all the things that you see on the ride. You see it in the first half of the movie, and I thought it was pretty funny. I thought the joke was, if you ever been to Jungle Cruise, the ride at Disneyland, some of the jokes gets kind of lame, and you hear it all over, and you know it was going to be in this movie, and I thought, everybody thought it would be, and it was, but you know what, it worked. It was funny, and I was fine with it. You also get in this element now. There really isn't much story to tell in Jungle Cruise besides that you going on a cruise, you see all these events, people see things, see plants, see rocks, and all that. So Disney came up with the story, adding the Germans into this journey, and it was play. I don't know this actor's name, but he's really good. He shows up in Breaking Bad. I think that was one of the first time I seen him in Breaking Bad, and he's been in another movie, Game Night. He was really good in Game Night. It was funny. So they added this element of the Germans are trying to find the same thing because they believe that it's gonna win. It's gonna help them win the war. It's just sounds familiar, like Captain America. They're trying to hone this power to try to win the war. So I thought it was kind of clever to actually throw that in there. I thought, other than that, the movie is pretty simple. It's not like the best movie, the best movie of the year or anything. It's not groundbreaking. You know, you get just like it has the element of the Mummy. There's other movies that when you watch it, you get the feel of it, and and it worked. And The Rock and Emily Blunt made it work, and so um, I think that's about it for my review. I would probably give this. I know we're supposed to give this for movie nerds. I'd probably give this opening night. But if I would give a number of it, I'd probably give this 7 out of 10. So, but it's still good. I enjoyed it. I would recommend you take, if you have your kids, I think maybe a little bit older than 6 years old. I have a little girl that's 6 years. I don't think I want her to watch this yet. But any older than that, I think the kids would enjoy it. It's a family film. It's fun and it's funny and exciting. And it has let me talk one thing before we go. One thing I did not like about this movie, I forgot to talk about that. Let's go back. I did not like the ending. Now, that being said, I thought it was fine. The ending was fine. The ending was expected to be what it was, and that is a happy ending. But I'm one of those guys that I wish, if you've seen this movie, I'll talk about it. No, why not? This is spoiler. So if you don't want to listen to part, please turn it off. But he ends up, basically sacrificing himself to basically save I forgot the Emily Blunt's character, her and her brother. And I think it would have made that sacrifice worth more if they would just kept it that way, that he sacrificed. But Disney, everything was like, if you watch the movie, the moon lights up the tree, the tree blossom with all these with all the pebbles or petals or whatever you call leaves, and you eat it and you become healed or immortal, whatever you want to call it. And then it goes away and then it dies. All the leaves dies. But then all of a sudden he goes and he turns into stone because he has to be, because he's immortal and the river takes him. I don't know. Just watch the movie. You'll know what I'm talking about. And so he turns into stone and he's trapped there forever. But all of a sudden the light of the moon pops up and then one leaf blossom and then he's able to, she takes it and gives it to him and he eats it or absorb it and then he comes back alive. A typical, happy ending, which I'm okay with. But man, I kind of wish they would have been the route like Thor, the first one, even though he didn't die, but he wasn't able to go back to her, and she's having to be determined to find him even more. Like that ending would have been better for me. Like I would have loved her for just to go on with her life, using that sacrifice to motivate her to do the good that she does. Not that she wasn't going to, even if he's there, she was going to, but it would have made that his sacrifice even more powerful. But that's the only thing I had regret with. Other than that, I don't. I think it's fun. I would watch it again. So I would recommend this to everybody. So go check it out. I hope you guys continue to follow, subscribe. We don't do as much, but we're trying. It's hard to get back to the movie sometimes when you can sit at home and watch through streaming. And right now, a lot of masks are being coming back, and it might be hard for the movie theaters to sustain that. But we'll see. But until then, later, nerds.